Hey guys, Mike here with On a Mission Fishing. I'm going to do a little tournament recap. We had just a small little tournament with I think we had 7 boats on Knife Lake here in Mora. It was a bass tournament and of course 5 bass, 12 inches. I'm just going to show you what I used. Myself and a buddy placed, I think we got like 4th or 5th or something. Lake is fishing really good. There's a lot of big fish caught for the area. And they actually had a tournament there Saturday, and it took like 19 pounds to win that, which is pretty good for this lake. So what I started with, I fished this a lot on that lake. I have a lot of success with it. It is a Outcast tackle. It's just a 1/2 ounce RT jig. It's not the RTX jig. They sell an RTX jig, and the RTX jig has a little bit stronger hook on it. But this one will do just fine. You'd use that RTX jig and you're fishing really heavy cover. But it's just the RT jig. It's got kind of a round head on it. It's a good all-around jig. As you can tell, I use a snot out of it. Paint's coming off it. But yeah, good all-around jig. This is the Minnetonka Magic color. And I have a black and blue flake, or black with blue flake Yum Yo Mama on there as a jig trailer. And that worked really well. Yeah, that's that. Caught most of my fish on that. And I'm throwing that on that's a Carrot Sticks Wild Wild Black Series rod. It's a 7.3 medium heavy action rod. Fast action. It's a great all-around rod. This is a micro guide rod. It retails for I think $189. It's a sweet rod. If I could get all my rods this rod, I would do it. It's just a good all-around rod. Really nice cork handle. The reel seat and grip on it, I really love on it. It just really fits your hands really well. And for a reel on that, I just got the Daiwa Tatula. I believe this is the 100HS, I believe this was called. This is my first Daiwa reel I've ever used, but I really like it. Super smooth reel, and of course it has the T-wing system on it. Helps with casting distance, so I like it a lot. Use that for flipping and pitching. I just got 15-pound fluoro on there. I had no problem. I didn't have any break-offs. I skipped a ton of docks. Like I said, no break-offs. Caught a couple pike even with the fluoro, and it didn't have a problem with that. So, yeah, that was that. I used that most of the time. I also threw a frog on my my 7.6. This is a 7.6 Wild Wild Orange Series Carrot Sticks. This thing is a frickin' broom handle. Awesome rod. That's just paired up with the Abu Garcia Pro Max reel, and that's this is the high speed reel. It's like their higher end of their Max Series reels. They're really affordable reels. I think they're only like $80, and honestly, they're really good reels for $80. I was just throwing this is on 50-pound Daiwa J8 braid. It's kind of the high vis braid, which I like. You can see your line really good to see where it is. Like if you're casting along lily pads, you can see your line really well, especially if a fish comes up and sucks your frog down. You can tell whether or not it actually sucked the frog and is moving with the line, or it just pulled it under a lily pad and it's just sitting there. You can really helps detect bites. So just throwing this is a Booyah Pad Crusher, which is kind of my go-to frog. You know, they're pretty well priced and they work great. This one's been glued up a few times after a couple pike attacks, but it's still going good. A couple things I do in my frogs real quick. I didn't do this. I learned this from another pro. But what I do with the frogs is I'll cut the trail, or I'll cut the skirt on it a little bit, because they're normally like this. They're normally like this long, which is crazy long. I find you get a lot of short strikes. A lot of fish will grab those tails if they're super long, and they're never gonna get the bait. So what I do is I trim up the skirt, and I actually take a pliers and I bend the hooks out just like a tiny bit. You'd be surprised how much, just like a degree or two. You'd be surprised how much it's going to help up with your hook, or help with your hookup ratio. You're going to catch some more weeds every once in a while if your frog flips over when you're pulling it through a pad, and you're going to catch more weeds. But honestly, the trade-off of getting more bites, or not getting more bites, but landing more fish is way better. I mean, so I do that with all my frogs, and I've been able to land 80% of my frog fish that actually eat the frog. So, I mean, that's just a number I threw. I don't know if it's actually 80%, but it's been a lot better. So that was that. The frog I caught, I didn't weigh in any fish with the frog, but I frog fished a little bit. Then the wind started picking up. Oh, before I forget. So another rig I was throwing here was this is Carrot Stick again. It's the Orange Series rod. This is their 7-foot medium fast action spinning combo. Just a great all-around entry-level spinning combo. I think they retail for $129. Really super. One thing you'll notice with Carrot Sticks, like as soon as you pull it out of the box, they're just ridiculously light. They almost feel so light that you would think they wouldn't be strong, but these things are super tough. I mean, I haven't even come close to breaking one yet. I just got a loose spinning combo or spinning reel on that. And what I had on this one, I was throwing this on, I believe this is 12-pound fluoro, but I was throwing this on this is like a 1/4 ounce shaky head by Outcast Tackle, and I just have a Berkley change up on here for a trailer. It's cut down, but this was my smaller profile in case they weren't really eating the jig a ton, which I did have a few short strikes on it, and this is to help more or less get a limit in the boat, and when the fishing got tough I would throw this. But I pretty much threw that jig the whole time, and I weighed in most of my fish with a jig. So the weather changed a couple times when we were fishing. It rained, and pretty much rained on and off the whole time. So
who are you talking to?
I'm making a movie, like I said, honey. So like I said, the weather pretty much changed on and off the whole time. And another lure so lastly, the lure I used, the weather changed up. It started raining and blowing pretty hard, and you just really couldn't fish a jig the way I wanted to. And I figured the fish would be a little more active with the weather and the wind, so we went over and fished some windy banks on some spots that we actually caught fish before, and we ran back through there with this is just a Northland Tackle spinnerbait, which obviously is beat to heck. I use this thing a lot, and it's about time for a new skirt on it, but the thing catches fish, so you can't really go wrong with it. But threw this on the windy banks, and I actually went back through where we caught a 310, and I went back through there with this in the same spot, and I caught a 3.5 on it. So pretty happy with that. We weighed in 15.6 or 15.8, I think, for 5. Our bigger fish were like a 310 and a 3.5. We needed to have, we had a couple just over 2, but would have been nice to have a couple 4-pounders, but 15.8 isn't really a terrible bag for that lake. That's actually pretty decent. But lake's been fishing really good right now. Like I said, there was a tournament the day before. It took 19 pounds, and this one that we just did on Sunday, yesterday, it took 18 pounds to win, and there was a couple 16-pound bags and a couple 15-pound bags. There was 2 fish over 5 pounds weighed in, which is really good to see for, a home lake like that. It's really cool to see. So, that's my little tournament recap. If you have any questions on any of the gear or whatever, or any of the, anything else about fishing, feel free to ask. Thanks for watching.